Welcome to Dwarven Forge. This is everything you need to know about our terrain in 60 seconds. Ready? Let's go. We hand sculpt our pieces for maximum detail and artistry, infusing passion into every millimeter of our work. Everything is available beautifully hand painted so you can start playing right away. Or you can choose unpainted to paint everything yourself. Our pieces are completely modular, so you can use the same sets to create a new adventure every time. Most pieces have embedded anchor magnets that affix to our terrain trays for secure building, and for revealing rooms as your players discover them. We create everything out of Dwarvenite, our top secret PVC formula that's nearly indestructible. We pack our pieces with as many features as possible, such as swappable LEDs to quickly change the look of your scene. We offer magnetic accessories to add flavor or increase the danger. A 1-inch tactical grid is sculpted into our floors, hidden in dungeon flagstones, natural rocks, or sticks and plants. In addition to sculpted pieces, we make terrain trays to use as a vibrant graphic base for your build. We offer a range of environments, including dungeons, caverns, cities, castles, sewers, forests, mountains, streets, burrows, ice, and hellscape. And that's just the beginning. We have a passionate fan base who can tell you all about it. And that's everything you need to know about Dwarven Forge in 60 seconds.
The games we play are the stories we create.
The fortress doors swing open.
Every story is unique.
And the sound of war drums rises.
Sometimes our stories come to us when we least expect them. We need to be ready no matter where inspiration strikes. And sometimes our stories are told over great distances. No matter where your journey leads you or how your story is told. The games we play are the stories we create. Sirenscape can help make yours epic.
Sirenscape is searchable, fast, and customizable from any device with no need to pre-install any sound. Adding epic atmosphere to your game has never been easier.
Do you miss playing Dungeons & Dragons, or just have a hard time finding a group in your hometown? Maybe you just wish you could play more. On Discord, we created a community of over 100 people who are playing D&D around the clock.
I'm Noggins.
Otzi.
Cici.
Piotr Strong Shield.
Katarina.
Elder Sidivar Baba Negra.
Tayam. Daria.
Kostash Morach.
Elros.
Falfur Softfoot.
Ketis White Spine.
That's my reindeer.
Misery Cordelia.
Chardani Gulril.
Body.
Bragar Iron
Dimitri.
Shalara.
Barf Battlebrain.
Atomic Scray, mate.
Shortleaf Frudari.
Warren Greenstead.
Melina Lee.
Sesh Morsis.
Malachi Dupraki.
Sarah Scholar Life Forger. Travas.
Tamazar.
Esmeralda Ambershake.
Elder Wattleby.
Dustin Morsis.
Morgan Reagan.
Maxa Kitty.
Sterling.
By integrating Discord and D&D Beyond, we're able to provide an immersive experience that is the first of its kind. You can create a character from 1st to 15th level, and then roleplay 24/7 in our Discord channels while combating monsters, crafting weapons, training new skills, and searching for items across our campaign world. You'll also have the chance to participate in random combat encounters and go on monthly virtual quests. Ever wanted to try your hand at being a dungeon master? Or maybe you're an experienced dungeon master and just want the chance to run more adventures. As a community DM, you can run encounters and virtual quests for the community based on monthly modules written by our very own accomplished plot team. Join us.
Join us.
Check it out.
Join the Discord.
Join us.
Join us.
And let's create incredible stories together. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of Tides of Wildemount. This is our official D&D Wildemount campaign. Very excited to be here. We're going to go through some quick announcements, and then we'll jump right into the action. First announcement, of course, is to thank Dungeons & Dragons for creating this incredible game that we know and we love, and we play every single week. Without them, obviously, we wouldn't be doing this, so a huge thank you to that. I want to thank our first main title sponsor, Hero Forge. They have an incredible online tool for creating miniatures and avatars for your tabletop gaming experience. You can check them out at heroforge.com. All of our player character miniatures are actually created with Hero Forge, painted by myself, and I actually use it for some of the other objects and some of the other NPCs that we use as well. So thank you to them. Also want to thank Sirenscape, our other main title sponsor. If you check them out at sirenscape.com/RealmSmith, you can see all of the awesome stuff that we've created for the platform. We use it all the time. You can hear it in the background now. We add sound effects and mood and ambiance to the experience, and it's really, really awesome. I want to thank them for that. And our third main title sponsor is Gameboard. You can check them out at lastgameboard.com. They have an incredible technology for board games and your virtual tabletops and so on. We will be getting one very soon. It's still on its way, and as soon as we have it, we'll have it on the table for random encounters and things like that, where we literally plop it on and then put miniatures on and we can go to it. Very, very cool. Very, very awesome. Awesome. That is. Awesome. Some amazing events coming up. D3 at Sea is going to happen in March. We're very excited about that. It's a Teens Quest in May. We have some awesome people going to be at D3 at Sea, including Omega and including some of our folks here from RealmSmith. It's going to be great. Omega and I are celebrity DMs on the cruise, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to be a part of that. It will be amazing. If you guys haven't checked out our Patreon, you can do that at patreon.com/RealmSmith. It's your opportunity to jump into our roleplay servers by becoming a patron at whatever level you want, for anywhere from $1 to, I think it's $250. And at different varying levels, you get a bunch of different options and abilities within our roleplay servers. Super excited about the future of it. It's growing in leaps and bounds, especially since Champions of the Realm aired. And you can also just jump into our Discord channel to check it out, because we have a lot of dialogue that goes on a regular basis for tabletop RPGs. So absolutely check that out. A bunch of us are in it on a regular basis, and we would love to have you. We have merch. We have quite a bit of it. You can check it out. There's not only Tides of Wildemount merch, but we also have Curse of Strahd / Into the Mist merch for you. We're adding more as we go and as the season goes. There's a lot of ideas that I have, including Snowstorm. Really needs to happen really soon.
It really does.
It really, really does. And so we are very, very excited about that. Wednesday, tune in for the final episode of Champions of the Realm. That is Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And that will feature Nora's Esmeralda versus Mark Mear's Baloth. It's been an amazing season thus far, and we're so very excited for the finale. Check that out, and then make sure that you tune in on Thursday at 8 p.m. for Aftermath, when we talk to Mark, actually, about Champions of the Realm and Tides of Wildemount as well. So half will be Champions of the Realm, half will be Tides of Wildemount, and we're so thankful to our entire cast for that show. It's been amazing. We'll be talking about kind of the aftermath of all of that in the coming weeks, because it's been pretty great. So very, very, very excited about that. I think that's most of the announcements. Want to thank our Smithgardians, of course, as usual, and our Realm Watchers for running and creating so much amazing content that they do on a regular basis. If you like what you saw today, consider subscribing, hit that bell icon, follow us on Twitch, and all of that wonderful stuff. Without further ado, let us venture into the wild. All right, welcome back. I don't know what sound that was. There was a sound in the studio. His stomach went. And it might have sounded a little like a toot. And I'm not sure.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't.
Roll deception.
Might have been. Roll deception.
Nat 20 on
No.
deception for the.
Yeah, fart jokes are always funny. Let's just be honest.
Okay.
Farts are always
Wow.
funny.
Time
We'd
of
have
the
to do
show,
a cons-
guys.
If it was a two, we'd have to do a concept.
All of you. With disadvantage.
As you can all see, there is a mystery guest for tonight's session. He will be, or she will be, or they will be released and seen very, very soon. So we will find out when that happens. All right. Last we left you all, I turned Sirenscape on. And then you were all in the Siren Forest. You had met with some wolves, unfortunately, who you were trying to figure out exactly why wolves were attacking and biting and then leaving. You were attacked by one wolf. You knew there were more in the area, but you weren't quite aware why they did proceed to attack you, as it appeared to have you surrounded the first time around. You then move further into the Siren Forest, further north towards the Bromkiln Hills, which is your final destination. And again, you were brought on and attacked by wolves on the road. This time with greater numbers, it appears, and it was an ambush of sorts.
I find there's always really amazing ambient sounds in the Sirenscape Forest.
It's so calming and tranquil.
Yeah.
And misleading.
Misleading. Yeah.
Yes. As you fought the wolves.
I'm still salty, sorry.
Yeah.
As you fought the wolves, many of you were bitten.
Yeah.
Which you didn't want to be, unfortunately, as you all discussed the effects of such potentially before meeting them. At this point, the dust is cleared, and you are now surrounded by 3 individuals that joined the fray mid-battle. One of them was a werewolf-type creature, half wolf, half-human hybrid type creature, who then shrunk down into what appears to be a half-elf female. There was another one that was a tiger-type humanoid creature that is now, again, shrunken down into a tanned-skinned, she's got long black hair and kind of is wearing silks and robes, more of a Marquesian-type armor and garb that you've seen. Similar even to Syrah, actually. Some of those same accents exist there. And then finally, a boar-type humanoid creature, short, stout, that then transformed into a dwarf. All of them quite furry, all of them having some of the same aspects of their animalistic form that exist in their now non-transformed form. You all kind of take in your surroundings, you all look at the wounded around you. What do you do?
Before anything, there is still the one that we've incapacitated on the ground.
Yes.
I look over to Snow, seeing where he is, and I say out loud, You said that you had manacles, correct?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to swiftly get over to Snow.
Yep.
And ask for the manacles.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll draw out the manacles from my bag and pass them over.
And then I'll rush back and put their arms behind, manacle them, and then pull them up.
So clarification, DM. This wolf has now changed into human form.
The one that is
the one that's incapacitated has it?
No, it has not.
Okay.
It's
still
in wolf form.
Wolf or
I thought you said it. I thought you said it went back. My bad.
The one that went back was the one that was killed. The 2 that were killed, there are 2 that are killed that are off the side.
Yeah.
One is a dark-skinned individual, with a sort of a male physique. The other one it looks like a female physique, lighter skinned, pale skinned.
And it's in wolf form.
But the one that is incapacitated is still
Quadruped.
wolf form. Yes.
Oh, then never mind. I thought it had turned back.
Yeah, sorry. Not yet.
That's fine. I keep my shadow blade down at it.
Yeah.
Just waiting for it to transform whenever it does. That's what I do.
I'll holster the pepper box and just walk over to where Zin is and go, I think it would be a good idea if we just wrap some rope around his feet. Then he can't move if he gets up. Also, well done, everyone. I thought we were pretty screwed. We turned that around pretty good.
I'll to that comment, I'll turn to the new folks around us that we've never met before and go, so glad that we could support your tremendous effort here today. The true heroes, though, are really Syrah, who did this crazy thing at the beginning where she put a whole bunch and made them afraid of us, and so that's probably why you actually gained any opportunity during this battle. So Syrah, thank you so much. And dear friends, what are your names exactly?
And you watch as the dwarf and the dark-haired female kind of come over to meet the other half-elf. And she looks up and she kind of like cocks her eyebrow at you, seemingly unimpressed. And she says, you're quite the Gabby Kenku, first of all. Second of all, you're quite the group, and if we hadn't have showed up, this may have gone quite differently.
Syrah just looks at the dark-haired woman, clearly Marquesian, forms fire in her hand and says, who sent you?
She goes over and she says, I do not know what you mean.
Oh, you just happened to show up at the perfect time?
Apparently so, yes.
State your business.
We are here to hunt the wolves. And the other half-elf says, yes, we have been sent to hunt the wolves, and we happen upon you after tracking them for some time. I see that some of you have been bitten.
On whose order?
What's that?
On whose order?
Well, that is my business. Friends.
And I send that dark-haired woman a message with MindLink and say, I will make it my business.
Okay. You see as she kind of narrows her eyes at you. And she she leans over and she whispers into the half-elf's ear.
Zen just kind of looks up, his shadow blade still very much apparent, and he says, this need to be the victor of our situation is quite irrelevant right now. 2, you didn't do as much as you think you did, so I would calm that tone. 3, I do want to know why the convenience was so apparent. Why are they doing what they're doing, and why are you hunting them? They called you traitor.
They are known as the Brotherhood of the Moon. They exist for one purpose, and that is to make our world more perfect in their eyes. To spread.
Who's our?
Sorry?
Who's our?
Anyone who exists on the continent of Wildemount. All of Exandria. I mean, they would shift them all if they could. And I don't speak of necessarily what happened during the battle. I speak of what's about to happen to some of you if we don't intercede.
Well, I've got this little bite over here. Are you sure that it's such a bad thing? I mean, it feels okay. Maybe a little bit tingly, but it'll heal, as usual.
Tingly, you say?
Just a little bit tingly. Just a little bit, just like tingly.
When all other synonyms have failed him.
Would you allow me to see it?
Low charisma. Sorry?
Would you allow me to inspect it?
Certainly. I would not look new friends in the mouth. Come on.
Okay. And she kind of makes her way. She kind of makes her way around the car, the wagon. Her companion's kind of close by, at her shoulders, as she comes around, and she looks up at the rest of you, just sizing everyone up to make sure she can kind of trust everyone. And you hold out your arm as she kind of starts to look at it. And she holds your wrist, noticing maybe for the first time that your eyes are glazed over. And looks at it and she says, it's deep. Into the bloodstream it is.
That's probably why it's tingly.
Is there a use for the one that's beneath me right now? You seem to have all the answers, Tigress.
I'm just like finally tying that knot, just cinching it really tight to get all 4 paws. I don't think this one's going anywhere. My knots are pretty good. So, yeah.
And sorry, so when you spoke, when you said Tigress, Tigress is the one that is the Marquesian woman.
And she's the one that seemed more, to him, she seems more adamant.
Yeah. Oh, no, now you're muted. You were fine.
Sorry. Yeah, though the half-elven wolf woman is the one going to Snow, the Tigress was the first one to speak up, so he's considering her to be like a leader.
Yeah.
So he's looking at her.
No, sorry. I think the wolf one is the first one that spoke up, and she was kind of sarcastic. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
sorry,
then
my
the
bad.
tigress. Yeah. And then the tiger one is the one that responded to Cira when she spoke.
Yeah, which Cira was only suspicious because of where she's from.
Yeah. No, that's not. No. Then, my apologies. He says, "You seem to know more about this than they might have information. Do you think they are useful?"
The one on the ground, you mean, Sin?
Yes.
That's a good question.
No.
Immediately the sword goes to its neck.
Very good.
Would there have been any way to rescue? These are people underneath, aren't they?
I don't think they want to be rescued. They think they're the ones rescuing you, by the sounds of it.
People still murder. People still kill for no reason. People still cause death and destruction. Making you a person doesn't make you any more, I don't know, worthy
so these
of being saved.
These were not the victims of the Brotherhood. These were the Brotherhood.
Yes.
Oh, okay then. Slice away.
All of these people think it's just better to be a werewolf. And they want to just make everybody werewolves.
Correct. That's what it meant when I said what I just explained.
Why?
5 minutes ago.
Well, they apparently they think it's better to just be a werewolf. That seems... So you don't think that, then?
This is exhausting. Who's been bitten?
Well, I got bit.
I got bit.
So have I.
Multiple bites make a difference.
They might. More of a chance.
If this is the better way of being, then why are you attacking people recklessly?
Depends on how you look at it, really. I mean, for us, we've been taught to live with it, to harness it, to control it.
How much of control do you have if you are attacking innocent people just
Immediately she turns into her wolf form as the plates in her armor begin to expand. And then she says, full control.
I'm sorry, what just happened there?
She changed into the thing that she was before. You didn't see her change into the thing that she was just now.
Oh, I thought she was just putting on a different voice.
No, but
she starts to transform back. And as she does, you can tell it's painful, and she kind of winces and kind of cracks her neck as she comes out of it.
So as a performance, I'll step up to her 10 feet back, and I'll go, what? Super impressive! And I start doing my thing, and I'll change into the form that she just took on.
Which
in
is the
front,
smaller version?
but a smaller version, just in front of her, and I'll be like, "Oh, look at me! I'm so special." Just because you can do this doesn't mean that you should be attacking humans or anyone for that matter. And I'll change back into my Kenku form.
The dwarf goes, "This is a waste of time," and he turns around. He hefts his axe on the back and he starts walking away.
And these, and as Sierra points to the dead on the ground, are these your friends, and did they have full control as well?
You hear the dwarf as he's walking away. He says, "Leave them to their own devices. Clearly they have this dealt with."
Xanaric? Sorry, go ahead.
What do we do about the bites? And thank you for your help, by the way. I would like to make sure that you know that it is appreciated.
The Merkesian woman looks at Sarah. She says, "Clearly she has all the answers." She turns around, starts to walk towards the dwarf.
Hold on.
Xanaric quickly, as the dwarf is walking, runs right in front of him.
Okay.
Gonna do a full dash.
Okay.
And he just pauses immediately. It's like, 1, no one's going anywhere. 2, and I look over their shoulder. They're short, but I look over their shoulder. They mentioned they seem to be different than the Brotherhood of the Moon, and you mentioned the word us. Who does us refer to?
The half-elf who's still facing the wagon, and you've stepped in front of the dwarf as he kind of stops and he looks up at you.
Yep.
And clearly bigger than his britches, as it were, like not intimidated. And his Merkesian companion standing beside, quite taller, looking you kind of in the eye. And the half-elf says, "You ask us questions as though we owe you an answer. We are trying to help, and all we have been met with is lip."
Doubt and untrust, perhaps?
You can expect us to just want to know all the answers when we were just ambushed. And yes, I am thankful that you all have come. We just want to make sure that all ends are tied. I do not see you as an enemy, but I don't see you as a friend yet. So how about we answer each other's questions?
I'm gonna walk, definitely in eyesight, like obviously, over to where Zin is, and just kind of stand beside him, sort of in a reaffirming way to like that I'm by his side.
Yeah.
And just look them dead in the eyes. I think we've got off on the wrong foot. We're not trying to diminish anything you've done, and we appreciate the assist. My name's Gregory. I found these lovely folks in Trostenwald. I wanted to find out what was happening with all these wolf attacks on the road, and now we're here after a little bit of a investigation and maybe a little bit of luring of these wolves to goad them into an attack just so we could find them. My idea. No big deal. Glad you found us. Would appreciate the assist to not turn into that. And I just point at one of them on the ground. Any sort of help would be great. Sounds like you're not on their side. Just looking to get an assist.
Which is what we thought we were giving you before this whole fiasco.
Great. So could we possibly continue this camaraderie and maybe have some beverages and talk and heal these bites? Because I don't want to be a werewolf.
And she looks across everyone, if we're all on the same page.
Of course we are, aren't we, everybody?
She looks specifically at the little werewolf.
Are we on the same page?
Well, I'll, using the last few seconds of my ankle boosters, and then walk the rest of the way.
You can tell the half-elf kind of looks at you and like throws you a glance.
What happened? Oh, these? Yeah. Yes, we're all on the same page, and we so appreciate all the help that you did during that battle. I think we would have been in a lot of trouble if you hadn't come. And I was bit as well, but not probably as deep as snow. And
Kind of looks at it.
But yes, if any more help you can do, and then we would probably be able to help you. Seems like you're tracking them as well.
Yes. Well, we can't help you here, unfortunately.
Could I just do an insight check to see if the Marquesians were from my father's kingdom?
Yep. There's the one Marquesian, yeah.
The one Marquesian.
Yep.
Okay, that is. Where's my insight? That's a dirty 20.
Okay. The dirty 20, you don't sense that she recognizes you or that there was any sort of connection when she said what she said. You get the sense that she really doesn't know what you're talking about.
At the same time, Zenric's going to lock eyes with Syrah, and in Syrah's mind, she's going to hear, "They helped us. They did not have to. I don't think they're enemies, but just because they can shift does not mean they can't be killed. Keep your enemies close, right?"
I agree with you on that. I just had to see if they were somewhat familiar to me.
Understood.
For my own reasons.
Reasons I don't need to know.
I could explain at a more reasonable time.
And as an act of obviously standing down, not standing down, wrong word, act of showing that I'm not aggressive, the shadow dissipates as I drop the shadow blade. And just kind of get to wipe my blades off and spin them, put them back in my sheath.
And they will see that Syrah has extinguished the flame that's in her hand.
Well, looks like we're at least able to have a conversation now. We're not going to force anyone or force our help upon anyone, so if you want our help, we can help you. Again, we cannot help you here.
Where would you have us go?
We have an encampment nearby. It's a secretive encampment, and so there's going to have to be some trust.
Is trust your price, or is there something else that we could expect?
Not sure what you mean.
Nobody just helps.
Is that the world we live in?
Yes, unfortunately.
Most of the time, for sure.
Well, I mean, you all helped me. You didn't have to. I didn't ask for anything in return.
You kind of did.
Regardless, we can go to this encampment with you. What would be required of us so you know that we are trustworthy?
She pulls out sacks out of her pack. You need to wear these.
Right.
The location of our encampment can't be known.
And that's where I hop out. It's been good knowing all of you. You go ahead to this encampment where basically they convince you to put their own prisoner mask over your head, and then they'll lead you to their encampment where they're imprisoned you, and then they're basically your masters and you're their slaves. How about that? I'm gonna walk this way now. Whoever wants to join me can come. And I'll start walking the other way.
I think I will. I start walking with Flunk.
I think it's only
as they start to walk away, I just say, theatrics are nice, but not necessary. But the two of you are bitten. You won't get far without turning. The full moon is coming. Katha will be at its fullest point soon.
What if we just promise to not say anything?
You really want to put masks over our heads?
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
And that's what we'll exchange to you for helping you defeat these wolves tonight.
Then we will just hunt you when you change. And there are many
hold
more
on.
of us where we came from. And so it's up to you. You can walk off now and succumb to the curse. Or you can come with us. Your
Could
choice.
we all just have a little bit of a huddle here? You know, just allow us to...
Sure.
Yes, and now, just a moment, miss. We will be right back with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll try to get everybody into a huddle and say, listen, I can put a sack over my head, but it's not going to stop me from being able to tell a lot of what's going to be happening here. I can tell when we turn left. I can tell when we turn right. I will have some idea of where we are going.
Yes.
Now,
been
what do you
very-
think? Do you trust my ability to perceive enough?
I do, Snow.
Absolutely trust you. Also, all I need is a long rest, and I'll be able to remove this curse and one other person's curse, and then I have to long rest again before I remove somebody else's. How many of us have been bitten?
That's right. There's
me.
3 of us.
3 of us.
Well, I was bit.
So
not
I'm
that
just
Well,
standing
just
like in
you knew.
between
You
the
knew.
two
It's
groups
technically 4 of us.
awkwardly because I didn't know if I was supposed to be included in the huddle, so I'm just sort of standing there.
Oh. No, I would have waved you.
Yeah, it's a team huddle.
Everybody.
Oh, I'm on the team.
Not these.
Oh, okay. And then I'll scurry over.
You hear a sigh, a pretty unfortunate sigh come from the group of 3.
Listen, I can remove a curse. Yanil can, I think, could remove a curse. We just need
She
to
nods.
rest.
You all mentioned that you needed a win. You needed to be the heroes in some way, shape, or form, right? I do not say you need to trust them. I don't trust anything. But I do think a simple sack over an head is the least of our problems. It will not cause anything, and trust and believe if there is a problem, I could slice their necks before they realized. That's not a threat, that's a promise.
Yes.
We do outnumber them.
Also,
So, let's just go, get healed, and go from there.
if they wanted us dead, not only could they have left us to the wolves, they could have killed us after we were bitten.
Very good
Well,
point.
And I mean, you all seem to sort of want to move on with your initial goal. Perhaps I could, assist them in ridding the area of these wolves. If you all want to sort of leave afterwards, perhaps they can be the help I was looking for, rather than you. If
I guess certainly if it means that you're not going to be with us anymore, it might be worth it. I mean, I'm kidding. That's a joke. No, fine. Okay, fine. Sacks over heads. Just be warned that the last time I had a sack over my head, I was put out to pasture, put out to sea on a boat, so and left for dead. So that's all I'm saying.
But look how that turned out.
Yes.
I'll
turned
walk
out.
back out towards the group of 3 and just. So, if we put the sacks on our head, you won't kill us or harm us in any way.
This is crazy.
Yes,
Is that
because
really
we
necessary?
would have spent the time that we just did, sustaining the damage we did, to not have you get killed by the wolves, to just kill you ourselves. And while we're on the topic of trust, why is the Kenku talking?
He's got a lot to say.
Same reason.
Hey, you just saw me change. Why do you think I'm a Kenku? Are we following?
Then what are you?
Hold the phone. No, that's not what I say. Phones don't exist. I believe that is personal. That is not why we are here. That is not part of a bargain.
What
I
are
would
you?
not ask why you are a wolf or a tiger or you.
Can I just roll an insight check just to get? Are they being upfront about not harming us if we go with them?
Could I join in that?
Yep.
Thank you.
So how do you want to do it? Do I take his bonus or do we just both?
Whoever's doing it and then take their bonus.
I'm going to give whoever
Okay.
guidance who needs it.
What's yours?
Well,
He said he's doing it first. So
Yeah,
Zin,
that's
okay.
fine. Yeah,
So
get a plus
give me your
4.
bonus. I had 15, so
Plus
19 plus his with his plus 4.
Yeah.
Plus 4, yeah.
And then guidance from Nora. From Zero. It's a D4, right?
Yep.
20 total.
Okay. You think they're being honest?
I will turn around. I don't think they're going to kill us. I think we're going to be with sacks on our head for a short time, but I don't think they're going to kill us.
That's a start.
Are the sacks on our head necessary? I mean, we can go with you.
You know, it'd just be a taste of how Snow lives every day.
I walk over
You
and I just start
walk a
grabbing sacks
mile
from
in
them
his-
and start handing them out.
Honestly.
We would find
It's non-negotiable. So you can choose to come with me with a sack on your head, or you can stay here and become a werewolf. It is up to you. We're leaving. And she turns.
And debate his sack, my
Pull
friend.
the sack on my head.
Another message goes to Sierra. I say, don't worry. I'll be able to see.
Great.
It's really so bad in
Hold
here.
my ring, and I give Zin my ring, and I pop into it. I will not put a sack over my head.
Okay. At this point, you notice that they kind of look around, noticing that you've left. It's a natural 20. That's an interesting trick.
She can't see. That's the point. And I pocket the ring. I don't have a reason to lie to you. I quite don't care.
The inside of the sack has a musty smell.
I will grab the sack and put it on my head, and make sure that it's tight.
Yeah, there's like a cinch at the bottom.
However, who do I trust? A message goes to Bolt. And I just stay next to you, and I say, in my head, in your head, you hear, "Guide me. I cannot see." I'm putting my visage into Tajina as we walk, and Tajina's going to be in the tree line.
Okay.
I will stealth with her, but she is not going to be seen.
And I'm just gonna straight up say, well, it's non-negotiable that I'm not wearing a thing over my head, and so you're just going to let me go there without, and I'm going to convince them to let me go without a sack over my head.
Persuasion check.
Right, I'll guide you.
It's an 18.
That is that is not enough. You notice how the dwarf's like this, and two of them kind of seem somewhat convinced, and the half-elf kind of turns to you. Then you will be left here, and if your friends want to stay with you, they can. I will not put our entire catmint at risk for you.
I don't know how you could expect us to trust you in a single battle. I just don't know how you're expecting it. And so for that reason, no, you can leave me here and take the rest with you. They deserve healing. I'll find my way. You go.
Fine. She turns and she walks. And the three of them now are waiting. Well, she starts to walk forward, and the two kind of stand on either side of the group. And the other two kind of place their hands on your shoulders gently and kind of move you into kind of a straight line so that you can kind of feel each other as you feel where you are, and then start to move in a single file line. Has everyone... Sorry, who's put bags on their heads? You. Zin, you have?
I have.
You hear this whole conversation. Do you move into line after hearing it?
I turn and look, and I pause, thing up for a second, looking at Plunk. Is this what you're going to do? I understand you have a history. But sometimes battles just need to be lost.
Gaziel says, Plunk, come on.
Really, Gaziel? A cinched bag over your head? That's how you're gonna go down?
Go down?
You're more of a hero than that to me.
Go down? Are you not able to humble yourself for the greater good?
It's really hard for me to humble myself.
Well, we know. We've seen it over and over and over again.
A lot of people call the greater good all kinds of things.
Sure.
Those wolves out there, they thought they were doing what they were doing for the greater good, turning people into were people. So really, when we're looking at the greater good, I kind of am looking at what's greater good for us, not for them. You really think this is right?
Are you willing to take the chance? With whatever has bitten you? On your own?
I'm not on my own. I've got my friends.
Who?
You!
The ones that already have bags on their heads?
Yes, those are my friends. And by virtue of me being their friend, I'm not just going to stand around and let strangers put bags on our heads. If that's what friendship is, then I'm sorry, but out of respect for you all, I think you're making a stupid decision putting a bag over your head. It's just, let's instead convince them to take us there without the bags. We haven't even tried.
You just tried and you failed.
Yes, but trying is not just trying once. That's not really trying. That's merely just scratching the surface of trying.
What I'm hearing is someone who wants the world easily handed to them. I'm not trying to judge you, but I'm saying what it is.
No, you're not. That's not true at all. In fact, I'd be surprised if Zin here you yourself would accept so freely to just let someone put a bag over your head.
Because
it's not
I can
the Zin...
defend myself if this isn't what it might be. But
right.
The fact that...
But can you defend others with a bag over your head?
Yes, actually.
They haven't taken our weapons from us, have they?
But
no one has said that they trust them. I'm just surprised that you, of all people, the performer, doesn't understand when you need to play a part.
This is nothing to do with performing. Has everything
It has everything to do with a performance. You would be quite surprised with how much you need to act to get through this world. As we have said multiple times, none of us trust them. But you all are hurt, not me. And you need to find a way to heal yourself, and they have a means to doing that.
We have a friend with us who could do it for us. So why are we trusting these strangers with that responsibility?
That's so interesting to me.
Part of our mission was to figure out and try and stop the wolves and their biting ways. And these people are of the same mind. And they have their own encampment and their own headquarters. And so it seems like joining and being a part of what they have to do.
Sure, let's go with our bags on our heads and find out what happens. That's fine. We'll go. I've had a bag over my head before, and I didn't really like it. So thanks, friends, for taking the right side. And let's go. Let's all go put bags over our heads and be prisoners for these, whoever they are. We don't know them from Adam or from you, Bolt. So yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a great plan.
Interesting.
Are we going?
People walk through the woods as a prison.
I'm gonna send a mage hand mechanical over to grab a bag. And I'll look inside and...
It's just so that they don't know, so that we don't know where their camp is.
Interesting.
And once we gain their trust, perhaps
Fine.
it won't matter.
I'll take the bag from his mage hand, put it over my head and go, okay, shoot me now. Tie me up.
I put the bag back on, and I stand behind Bolt. And once I do, I begin to walk. But again, my mind goes into Tajna, and she stays hidden in the trees and follows.
Okay. Give me a stealth check for Tajna.
I surely will. She gets a plus.
And I'm gonna
21.
21?
Yep.
She's
a bird.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Once I have the bag over my head, I'm going to send a message, cantrip, over to Snow and say, Snow, you'll be able to find your way back for us, won't you?
I will do my absolute best.
All right. Doesn't feel right.
I've been counting my steps my entire life.
I can't do that, Snow. But I trust you. If I don't trust any of them.
I will do my best not to let you down, my friend. We've been through a lot together. I don't want anything to happen to you.
All right. Then I'll stay by your side as we walk.
Okay, ready, kids?
Ready to go.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Seriously, this bitch is going to make me throw something at her because she's really annoying.
Really quickly, just a note. I can maintain what I have as long as my familiar's within 100 feet. So we're gonna walk, and then she's gonna start flying.
Okay.
It is also dark, and she's a black hawk.
It's not dark. It's daytime.
Nice.
Huh?
It's daytime.
Oh, I thought you.
You guys left in the morning.
You're correct. You're correct. I thought
2 hours
totally.
into it's
also
about
fine.
9
Yeah.
a.m. equivalent of.
Yeah.
Also,
right.
with bottled respite, I can't maintain a telepathic link because I can't see anybody, but I can hear what's going on around me.
Okay.
Someone's grabbing the horses, right?
Hard to tell with a bag on our heads, Bolt.
What have you?
Yes.
Mind,
Very well. And she says, those of you that want to go in the wagon can go in the wagon. We will take the cart.
I would like to walk if possible.
Very well. Who would like to go in the wagon? It's your wagon.
Zane will go on the wagon.
Okay. Would you mind if I just sit on my horse?
You hear
We will
Sierra
leave the
just say,
horses.
"Thank you" to herself.
Yeah.
Inside.
I'll follow Zin, help him up into the wagon.
So I can't walk. I'm just blind and deaf. So I'm just
okay.
making sure.
Okay. So you go in the wagon with him?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, so Yanil also goes in the wagon. Snow, are you going to walk?
I'm gonna walk because I want to count. I want to walk measured steps.
Yeah.
Count my steps. Take note of every route, every pothole, every anything that I can use as like landmarks.
Yeah.
Something like that, and keep track of every turn and the degree of turn and so on. And also track smells in case we pass by certain flowers so that,
Yeah. Okay. The half-elf says, the wagon will have a hard time traversing some of the terrain that we have to cross. I suggest that we leave the wagon here. We can leave the horses and bring you back here to the wagon afterward. The wagon's sort of right on the path. Did not get robbed and...
They're gonna steal our horses and our wagon now.
Maybe we can hide the wagon under some brush. Or just...
Give us a moment to hide the wagon. Of course.
And you just hear, you don't hear it, but audience hears, how long are we going to be gone for? They can't leave our horses here.
No, she said they'd take the horses, leave the wagon here.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Okay, so you're going to
Sorry, it's a little muffled.
Give me a survival check.
I'll help.
Yep, give him your survival bonus.
You can add 4.
Do I get advantage plus the bonus? Or no. 10 plus 3 plus 4. 17? Okay. You think you've sufficiently hid the wagon? Okay. Ta-da! All right. You all had the wagon. They leave the horses. You all continue on a ways. You travel for what feels like a couple hours, at least. And it's quite twisty over varying types of terrain. You feel rock under your feet. You feel the soft kind of forest ground. Undergrowth. And after a couple hours of travel...
Every couple minutes, Jay, I'm going to stealth.
Complain.
Yeah, and complain. But I'm going to when I'm not complaining, I'm going to attempt to lift my mask ever so slightly so that I can see the ground.
Sleight of hand.
It's a 23.
Okay. All right. Every once in a while, you're able to... How often?
Like 10 minutes.
Okay. You're able to do it almost every time. Nobody's noticed.
Okay.
As you do to see the ground. And again, you see the differing terrains, rocks sometimes.
Cool.
At one point, you feel like perhaps you're crossing a bridge.
And Taj is still just keeping pace, but keeping back.
Okay.
just trying to act like a normal board. Happens to like what's happening right now.
and Tajana gets the sense that they're doubling back at times as well on the path, and it's windy, and so it's not a direct route wherever they're going.
Yep.
And finally, Tajna in the distance sees that there's a clearing in the trees, a couple 100 feet out, and at this point you can hear what sounds like the sounds of combat without yells. And you get the sense perhaps that there's maybe training happening close by. You recognize then as you approach another 100 feet or so, you hear the muttering of voices.
So now we're at a disadvantage. Just making a note here, folks. Going into where, we may not have the upper hand. Just saying.
Just a reminder that when I'm in Tajna, I see everything, so I'm making a mental note of everything that I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
Just for my sake, and I'm just jotting that.
Give me a survival check.
Ooh, dirty 20. That was a 19 on the die. I only have a +1.
You think you could probably get back to where you were from even after this time. You're pretty confident that you know the route.
Now that I see that we're getting closer, I'm going to come back out of Tajna just so they don't start to be curious. And Tajna's going to go away. I'm going to dismiss her.
All right.
So.
Okay.
I guess continue to. Wow.
As you continue to approach, eventually you're all brought to a stop. And you hear the voice of the half-elf again, and she says, "All right, you can remove your hoods."
And Sierra will pop out of the ring.
Okay. And she looks over at you, Plunk Glabpunk. And she says, "Was that so bad?"
That was terrible, actually. And I'll take the bag off my head and go, I mean, it was pointless, but let's, heal.
Not the best way of establishing trust.
No, exactly. No great first go at making friends, though. Okay. That's what I do when I captured make new friends too.
Then you can stay out here, and the rest of your friends can come with me.
Okay.
Or anyone else that wants help. But you can stay out here. And as you look out at the encampment, there's a palisade that is about 15 feet tall all the way around. And it spans, you imagine, probably 200 to 300 feet, almost square from what you can see. And there are guards in towers that overlook. You can see that they're holding bows in the four corners of the palisade of the encampment. And you can't actually see any tents or anything inside, actually. And there is a gate. It's kind of a double gate. And she says, "All right, whoever actually wants help can come with me."
And with Mind Link, I'll establish with Plunk and say, "Come on, Plunk. I know it's not what I would prefer either, but it's better than being split apart."
I'll do it because of you, Sarah, but that's the only reason.
I don't like it either to establish that I'm on your side with this, but...
All right. Fine, let's go. Okay, fine, I know. Thank you so much for the help. I'll come right along. No more complaining or whining. Your healing is what I'm looking for. I'm so happy to be here.
At least we finally
And
agree
she'll
on
kind
something.
of Sierra will kind of lean her arm out, like when she took Plunk's arm when we were pretending to be a married couple back at the hotel. Come on.
All right.
I will flick the ring back over to Sierra because I want to make sure you get that. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. She turns and she heads towards the palisade. She stops just outside of it as it begins to open behind her, and she turns back to you all and she says, "I trust you'll all be on your best behavior."
Of course.
And
trust is a weird thing. I'll just leave it at that.
We've come this far. Let's just go in, please.
No, I mean, it's a weird thing. So happy for it, though.
He was saying that to her. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Nope, no sort of funny business here. We'll all be on the up and up.
My name is Liliana.
Oh,
This
beautiful
is
name.
Jace, and she looks at the dwarf, and then she looks over, and this is Samara.
Pleasure. I am Snow.
Now, I
am
can't...
Zenric.
I'm Bort.
My name is... You can call me Gab.
Gregory, at your service.
Dear,
Very good.
And this is Gaziel and Yiddo.
Yes, of course. And they both put their hands up.
I'll kind of jog up to go right next to her, to Liana.
Liliana, yeah.
So what is this place? As she starts to walk in.
She turns around, she says, well, first of all, let me say that not everyone is going to be incredibly happy I brought you all here. This is kind of against the rules, but you need help.
No.
And this is a place, a refuge, and as she starts to walk through, and as soon as you enter, you see that there's a large group of people who are being trained by an individual. And this individual, you can see, is clearly commands respect from his students. And he is currently training with a greatsword, and he is going through motions, and as he goes through them, the entire class mirrors what he's doing. At this point, I would like to welcome onto the stream our mystery guest, Mr. Mark Meir. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for your patience with our group. It took a little longer to do things.
Not at all. No problem. I've been enjoying.
Good.
From the darkness.
Good. Yes. And as you teach your students, Mark, what do they see?
You see a tall, broad man. His long gray hair is pulled back in a ponytail. His beard is likewise graying, and his face is quite heavily scarred. You can tell even at this distance. One particularly deep scar runs over his right eye. He's wearing half plate with a leather trench coat strategically attached to it. And he wears a red scarf around his neck. As he sees movement out of the corner of his eye, he looks up and stops in his demonstration, and then sheathes the greatsword. Liliana, who are your new friends?
They're folks in need of help.
Indeed.
They've been bitten. Most of them.
Ah. Yes, then you are quite correct. They do need our assistance.
I'm going to take them to the director.
Good. See that you do. Bring them here to me.
And she says, she looks at all of you and she says, this way. And she kind of steps up and she says, this is Elias.
See, now he seems like he might be trustworthy.
I don't get it. Why
You figure.
Well, just because he's commanding respect. He kind of approached us. He was kind about it. You have terrible bedside manners, but he seems quite welcoming. So thank you, sir. You may want to teach some of your skills to your people, because they're total assholes.
The 50 students that he is currently teaching, turn in your direction and shoot all kinds of gazes in your direction. And they're a variety of races and sizes and stature.
The man who was described to you as Elias holds up his hand and says, Liliana, perhaps you could attend to that. Tell me, who are all of you? And who exactly am I looking at, this group of people?
I'll describe I'll describe myself. So you see a short stature Kenku-looking individual who speaks freely, and it's kind of obviously that's kind of strange to you. But he's wearing a tunic and basically a leather tunic with really kind of fancy boots. He was wearing a lute over his back, and has 2 daggers, and then wearing a hefty ring on his left index finger, and then another series of like some jewelry on his right wrist as well. And he's obviously not very happy with how things have transpired to be where he's at right now.
You see a very tall woman. She has olive skin, dressed in a very ceremonial Marquesian dress with like a very elaborate golden headdress, blue eyes, wearing a very large filigreed ruby ring on her finger.
You see features, seems human. Seems very, maybe a broad nose, things of that nature. But his skin tone takes on almost like a cool gray with a bluish undertone to it. He's wearing a purple and black vest, some baggier pants, almost like harem pants, with some shoes, good shoes. He has no shirt on underneath. He seems very fit, but very slender at the same time. Seems more acrobatic than athletic. He has 2 sheathed scimitars to his right, and as he stands there, every now and then you get a glimpse of like the wind lifting up his vest or going through his dark undercut shaven head, and yeah, that's pretty much what you see. Brighter gray blue eyes as well. Yeah, that's what you see. Sorry. And he also has wrists that are wrapped, and underneath that wrapping seems to be a greenish glow, ever so slightly.
So you also see a taller, slender, bronze dragonborn, goggles on his head, wearing a trench coat. Under the trench coat is a more form-fitting chainmail. And on second glance, you would notice that the tail that comes out from through the trench coat is almost like mechanical-looking, robotic type, and just sort of acts naturally, but is metal.
Okay. So you see a human, kind of jet black hair, brown eyes, looks very drab, very poor. His pants are ragged and like patched. The tunic underneath his very kind of rusted and battered breastplate. The tunic is ripped and tattered, but on his side he does have a scabbard with a hilt coming out of it, and on his other hip he does have a holster with something inside. I'm not sure if your character would be familiar with what it is, but there's a holster on his other hip. And he's just got this really over-eager smile on his face, and he's just sort of taking in the surroundings and just looks at you and goes, "Hello, my name's Gregory. Hi."
And Stone.
A 5'7" tabaxi, white fur with black spots, wearing half plate over sailor's garb. Patches of fur have been shaved down to the skin. Other parts of the fur have been slicked out so as to catch the wind and the breeze. You can see that his eyes are blue but very clouded over. Very likely he's blind.
Well, since Gregory is the only one who said his name out loud, he turns to you and says, "Hello, Gregory, and hello to all of you." He turns back to the students and says, "That will be all for now. We will resume in a time. Jace, Samara, please, some refreshment for our guests. No doubt the road needs to be washed from them. Some refreshment, as I say. I am Elias de Corfu, and I bid you welcome.
It is wonderful to meet you, Elias. I am Snow.
Snow?
Snow, yes.
Thank you for the kind welcome. And I'll bow and say, so grateful to have been invited here so kindly. With a small smirk of sarcasm as he says it.
Small?
With a large tinge of sarcasm.
You must forgive Liliana. She only seeks our safety. You are our guests, but at the same time, we must make sure that you do not become a danger to others, yes?
Well, that I do truly appreciate.
Yes.
We definitely started off on the wrong foot, perhaps the wrong bite as well.
Yes, how did you come to receive these wounds?
We were traveling, trying to see what was going on, as there was a group that approached Trostenwald in a wagon that obviously were bitten as well. We wanted to find out what was going on, and we were ambushed. Luckily, according to them, they helped us when we were overwhelmed, if you would say.
Yes, then you have run afoul of the Brotherhood of the Moon.
Well, now we know their names, thanks to them, but we have not yet gotten yours.
As I say, I'm Elias de Corfu.
My apologies, not your actual name, your organization. If you seem to be against the Brotherhood of the Moon, who are you?
Who are we, or what are we? Are you familiar with the way of the Blood Hunter? Those who take on the Hunter's bane?
Am I familiar with the Blood Hunters?
Yeah, give me a history check.
All of us, or just
Anybody who heard it and wants to know.
18.
23. What kind of check is it?
History.
12.
15.
16.
Ooh, not good for me. 13.
Okay.
18.
Yeah. Anybody with an 18 above? 18 and above, you would have heard of them, but only in lore. With a 23, you've absolutely heard of them. You know that they're a secret organization. And they're so secretive that you don't even necessarily know what they do. But you know that you've heard of blood hunters before. And that they deal in humocraft and a different type of magic, yeah.
When he says blood hunters, there is an obvious brow raise, and he just stares and says, blood magic.
Indeed. Though, perhaps understandably, I will not divulge all of our practices to those I have just met. Suffice it to say that we stand against the darkness.
So are all of you sort of werewolves, then?
Forgive our young friend. He's new to this. You don't just ask people.
There are
They were hiding
orders within our order. And some have turned lycanthropy itself against those who would harm the innocent.
With, at this point, Sierra will establish a mind link with Elias and say, you have to forgive us. You see, moments before meeting your party, we were attacked by wolves, and then all of a sudden your compatriots showed up, not knowing whether they were friends or foes, and they put bags over our heads and brought us to you. And so...
Yes, I do apologize for the bags. I suggested blindfolds. I think they are less threatening somehow.
Right, I didn't hear that.
We're a little
But
apprehensive.
Blindfolds are in short supply, you must understand, and bags are easy to come by, so here we are.
From the distance...
And then, like, again, none of you guys hear this.
No.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
It was mine. It was
shortage of 2022.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Regardless, we have come here for a reason. There are those of us who have been bitten, and while do not misunderstand, I believe we had the means to do so and rid of his curse ourselves.
Then there are curse breakers among you, yes?
Yes,
Good.
if we rest.
Then we shall provide you with a place to rest. There are certain other remedies that could be employed. Perhaps it is best to use all avenues. But yes, if you have the magic within yourself, we will do our best to make sure that you rest undisturbed.
Is he up and up?
Insight check. While that's happening, Elias, you notice that there are two others that I forgot to mention. There is a halfling in half plate, I believe. Hang on one sec, gotta check. I don't think it's full already. No, she wouldn't have full plate yet. Chainmail, actually. Very kind of glistening armor, blue hair with a blue starburst tattoo over one eye, and she carries a warhammer. And then there's other turtle, large turtle, carries a staff, kind of a rough wooden staff, and kind of a shawl over her shoulders.
And have I identified who is in need of medical attention, specifically for the possible onset of lycanthropy?
Yep. Yeah, give me a medicine check on that.
Oh, gotta get to my character sheet. Hold on.
No problem.
So many windows.
What was that insight, Omega?
19.
Okay.
You'd think a full bag could be torn into multiple blindfolds.
Actually, you see him look over, and he just sort of like gestures to like somebody else, like a medic or something. He's like, take a look at them. I can't tell who has been bitten or not. Because I rolled very poorly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a 4.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so at first glance, you can't tell, but you imagine that the director would probably be able to discern and really take a look, as obviously this isn't your area of expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically.
No proficiency in that.
Yeah.
Also, I would have just told you.
Yeah.
So how many patients do we have?
I think there's 4 of us, actually, who could use your help here.
Yes.
Right? Is there 4 of us? There's 1, 2,
well, I was bitten, but it doesn't seem as bad as you.
3, and...
Yanil was definitely bitten.
Yanil, right.
And there's 5.
5.
Indeed.
Very tingly.
And then...
how long do you think using your own magics would it take before you are free of this?
That I don't really know. Sira, do you know how long your magic would take? Yanil?
I would just need to get a nice long rest in before I feel strong enough.
So a few days' time at most.
I can deal with some now.
Good. Yes. Between us, pooling our resources, we should be able to solve this before the moon comes.
2 things. 1, that insight check.
Yeah, insight. What would he know with a 19, Elias, of your intentions?
I would say everything certainly seems to be on the up and up. He seems to be being completely honest with you. Would I, well, here's a question.
Yeah.
Should I make a roll just to see how inscrutable I am? Or he's not, I mean, he is not actively attempting to deceive.
Yeah,
so.
no, I would say with it, yeah, what he would know with a 19. Yeah, would be enough, yeah.
Then the second thing is me talking. You asked how long it would take for the cursed magic to take hold. Have you never dealt with curing lycanthropy? I'm surprised that you would ask such a question. I would assume this place would know almost everything about it.
No. You misunderstand. I only meant I do not know your relative levels of experience with the skill at wielding magic. Sometimes it may be that you could only do this once per day, and in which case it would take longer. If you are more experienced, more powerful, you could cure several people in the course of one day.
If you have the means to inscribe this magic upon a scroll, I could learn it.
He turns back to the healer that he'd called over. It's like, is such a thing possible? Again, it is not really my field.
Oh, geez. I imagine I've heard of that before. I'm not a very accomplished healer. I'm fairly new, and I can't do what you've asked me to do. Simple, very, very simple things I can do. And you can see it's like
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, sorry, who, just to clarify, who was it that said that they could also, in game terms, cast remove curse?
Yes.
It was the turtle. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
So, that question would have been addressed to the turtle.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry, so what was the question?
I would need to get a good night's rest, but after regaining my strength, I could reverse the curse on myself and one other in that day before needing to rest again.
And he turns to the turtle. And you?
I can do one today and one tomorrow. One each day.
Then it will take at least 2 days. We should be able to solve this. How far away is the next full moon?
Astrology. What check would that be?
Nature.
Nature, history.
Yeah, nature.
Arcana?
Give me a nature check.
Cool. I have advantage on checks with that have to do with. I don't know if it. No, it probably wouldn't include lycanthropes.
I would.
Fey fiends undead.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't think that's technically.
Yeah, no.
It's technically not undead. No.
They're just monsters, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my nature check was a 7. So I'm assuming it's like I've been training so hard, I have no idea when the next full moon.
Yeah, you know it's coming. You know it's close.
Yeah.
Days. And
Days.
And you don't know how many days. It could be 1. It could be 5.
We may be cutting things close. Those who can be cured immediately, the others will perhaps need to be restrained to be on the safe side. We must keep an eye on the skies.
I'm sorry, if Yanel and I are the ones that are capable of reversing this, then are we here to help you? Is there anybody of your people that are afflicted?
No, not in the way that you would think. Those who are touched by this within our ranks have control. They are able to turn the forces of dark magic against it. It is difficult to explain.
Liliana,
each of our orders pursue a different path. Those who walk that one, yes, you have nothing to fear from them when the moon comes.
Liliana made it seem as if you all had the means to also cure us, and it seems as if we did not need to come here in the first place.
And you know, Elias, that and Liliana and the other two have already gone. Liliana actually headed directly towards the director's tent. But you know, again, you have limited knowledge necessarily of all of the inner workings of this specific order that is in this specific camp, which is obviously the Order of the Lycan. But you do know that the director has the ability to remove the curse, but again, is limited in how many times he can do it. The other question, obviously, is they have other means of dealing with the curse as well. And so they're very well versed. And so, yes, there is help here that can help. But the question is, they need to speak to the director, is what it comes
in
down
answer
to.
to your question, we do have the means, but given that your power can also be brought to bear this will be the quickest and most efficient way.
Right. And there are many of us who have been afflicted.
Indeed, as you say.
Liliana steps out of the director's tent, and it's some ways away. And the encampment itself is made up of several dozen tents. A lot of smaller tents, which are obviously meant for sleeping, and some larger ones, all nondescript. The only thing that you see is banners that don't hang too high, but have that symbol on them. It's like a blood drop with a dagger in the middle of it, and they hang from a variety of different places in the camp, but not taller than the palisade. So you wouldn't be able to see the banners from outside of the encampment itself. Liliana opens up the flap of a tent that is probably about 100 feet from you, kind of center to the encampment, and she yells out, "The director's ready. He'll see you now."
Lovely. I would like to not be a werewolf, so I'll be on my way. Good to meet you, Elias, and we'll
As you say that,
chat.
a humanoid hybrid wolf type person in full armor kind of walks by and goes, and like continues to walk back.
It's just
I'd just go if I were you.
Yeah, no.
It's all right, my friend. It is not for everyone, you know.
Yeah, and I'll just walk away.
Yeah.
Just like head hung low.
I'll turn to Syrah at that moment and go, Syrah, I'd really prefer if you could do this for me rather than wait for these folks to do it. I'm still not sure I trust them fully.
I mean, if I can rest and regain my strength enough for me to do that, then absolutely. And then she turns towards Elias and says, "What is it exactly that you have to gain from us being here?"
To know that this affliction has been dealt with, that you will not become a harm to the innocents that we seek to protect.
And that is all that you seek.
I believe so. To be honest, I was training these others when you arrived unexpectedly. You would have to speak to Liliana directly as to her motivations. But this is what I assume.
Very well.
All right.
As I'm walking towards the director's tent, I am taking full stock of location of tents, number of people, number of guards, distance between palisade and the director's tent, amount of weapons, like all that information.
Okay. Survival check on that.
Survival?
Yeah.
10.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And actually, all of you probably noticed, because he's not attempting to hide it in any way, Elias is sort of following along behind you on the way to the tent.
Great. As you all begin to turn and head towards the tent, you do notice that a number of individuals kind of cross your path. Some of them just look like normal humans, elves, half-elves, some half-orcs, some dwarves, halflings, like all different types are kind of milling around the camp as you kind of walk through. All of them kind of shoot you a glance knowing that you're outsiders and kind of weighing you whether or not you're for or against, or if you're an issue or not. But some pass in lycanthrope form, and you see a large bear-looking creature that towers above all of you as it walks by. You see another one that kind of resembles a rat humanoid form, and like all types of lycanthropes you imagine are kind of milling about as you pass towards the tent.
And as we start going, I'll look back at Elias, who's following, and I'll whisper to Plunk, "Blood hunters? I thought they hunted wolves."
I'm also slightly confused, but yeah, no, they hunt. I guess that they use blood somehow, some strange way. They're blood magicians, I think.
I said blood isn't the subject of their hunt, but the means that they use to hunt.
Yes, I think so. But we could talk to them about that later if you want. It's quite interesting.
Yes, interesting, but very confusing.
Very
verbiage. Anyway, off we go.
As you continue on towards the tent, we are going to take a break, and we will be right back. We're going to take a short one. Okay? Cool. Be right back.
Cool, folks. So about a 10-minute break?
Yes.
All good.
Oh, we can actually cut that out. No, we don't. Awesome. I need to go to the washroom right away.
Welcome to Dwarven Forge. This is everything you need to know about our terrain in 60 seconds. Ready? Let's go. We hand sculpt our pieces for maximum detail and artistry, infusing passion into every millimeter of our work. Everything is available beautifully hand painted so you can start playing right away. Or you can choose unpainted to paint everything yourself. Our pieces are completely modular, so you can use the same sets to create a new adventure every time. Most pieces have embedded anchor magnets that affix to our terrain trays for secure building, and for revealing rooms as your players discover them. We create everything out of Dwarvenite, our top secret PVC formula that's nearly indestructible. We pack our pieces with as many features as possible, such as swappable LEDs to quickly change the look of your scene. We offer magnetic accessories to add flavor or increase the danger. A 1-inch tactical grid is sculpted into our floors, hidden in dungeon flagstones, natural rocks, or sticks and plants. In addition to sculpted pieces, we make terrain trays to use as a vibrant graphic base for your build. We offer a range of environments, including dungeons, caverns, cities, castles, sewers, forests, mountains, streets, burrows, ice, and hellscape. And that's just the beginning. We have a passionate fan base who can tell you all about it. And that's everything you need to know about Dwarven Forge in 60 seconds.
The games we play are the stories we create.
The fortress doors swing open.
Every story is unique.
And the sound of war drums rises.
Sometimes our stories come to us when we least expect them. We need to be ready no matter where inspiration strikes. And sometimes our stories are told over great distances. No matter where your journey leads you or how your story is told. The games we play are the stories we create. Sirenscape can help make yours epic.
Sirenscape is searchable, fast, and customizable from any device with no need to pre-install any sound. Adding epic atmosphere to your game has never been easier.
Do you miss playing Dungeons & Dragons, or just have a hard time finding a group in your hometown? Maybe you just wish you could play more. On Discord, we created a community of over 100 people who are playing D&D around the clock.
I'm Noggins.
Oh, see.
Cece. Piotr Strongshield.
Katarina.
Elder Sidivar Baba Negra.
Tayel. Daria.
Kostash Morach.
Elros.
Falfar Softfoot.
Ketis White Spine. S3 Reindeer.
Misery Cordelia.
Chardani Gulril.
Body.
Bragor Iron Pine.
Harmon. Nabuti.
Dimitri.
Shalara.
Barf Battlebrain.
Atomic Scrymate.
Shortleaf Frudari.
Warren Greenstep.
Melina Lee.
Sesh Morsis. Malachi Dupraki.
Sarah Scholar Life Forger.
Travas. Tamazar.
Esmeralda Ambershake. Elder Waddleby.
Dustin Morsis.
Morgan Reagan.
Akshay Kirti.
Sterling.
By integrating Discord and D&D Beyond, we're able to provide an immersive experience that is the first of its kind. You can create a character from 1st to 15th level, and then roleplay 24/7 in our Discord channels while combating monsters, crafting weapons, training new skills, and searching for items across our campaign world. You'll also have the chance to participate in random combat encounters and go on monthly virtual quests. Ever wanted to try your hand at being a dungeon master? Or maybe you're an experienced dungeon master and just want the chance to run more adventures. As a community DM, you can run encounters and virtual quests for the community based on monthly modules written by our very own accomplished plot team. Join us.
Join us.
Check it out.
Join the Discord.
Join us!
Join us.
And let's create incredible stories together. And we're back. All right. Okay, so as you head towards the tent of the director, is there anything else you all want to do on that 100-foot walk to the tent? I know you all kind of had... No? Okay. As you approach, Liliana kind of holds the flap aside, and she doesn't enter any further. And you can kind of tell that she's got... I mean, she wasn't super pleasant as it was. She's not super happy, and it looks like maybe she's been chastised in some way. And
about us being there,
you don't know. She just looks not happy.
Okay.
As you all kind of enter this tent, the flap closes behind you, and she does not follow you in, but Elias does. And as you do, you enter it. Sorry, go ahead.
I just give her the "you're in trouble" look.
And this is about a 30 by 30 foot tent as you enter a large tent. And inside this tent, you see that there is, it looks like organized chaos. There are vials of all sorts of pickled substances, of different liquids, and what appear to be different species of creatures, all kind of in jars and cans and bottles, all on one side, all along a massive sort of well-built shelving structure. You see a large table in the middle of the area, and it looks like an examination table. All sorts of instruments interspersed with tubes and pumps and gauges and certain things that you see that are used in all manner of experiments or whatever you might think, and probably the worst place that your mind could possibly go in this given circumstance. And in amongst all of it, with books and piles and papers, at the back you see an elderly individual slightly hunched over from age, gravity finally kind of taking its toll. And from the back, you see a bald, slightly gray-skinned character with slightly pointed ears in the back. And you see a bit of white kind of beard from the back that is somewhat closely trimmed on the sides. And the vestments that this individual wears are priestly in nature. And they're black and white and gold, it appears. And as the individual turns around to kind of meet you, you notice that behind him, and what he was looking at is almost like I don't want to say a murder board, but it's like notes and pieces of string pointing to different illustrations and scrawled notes. And he turns around again, looks like a elderly half-orc. Closely trimmed beard, long and braided in 2 strands that hang basically to mid-chest. On the front of his vestments is that symbol that you saw when you entered, the blood drop with the dagger in the middle of it. And you can see his age on his face as he, still when he turns around, doesn't look at anyone specifically, and is still almost like counting on his fingers and like connecting things in his mind that he points at kind of physically, but obviously do not exist in space. And he's like, yes, yeah, all right. And then, not looking at you all, and looking everywhere but your eyes, says, yes, you perhaps shouldn't have been here and shouldn't have come, but you're here now, and some of you are bitten, is that right?
We were brought here with bags on our heads.
Yes, bags. Necessary, absolutely necessary. We are an order, a secret order. I'm sure LDS has brought you up to speed, of course. But some of you have... focus, please. And as he says focus, you can see he stops and does this, like, okay, I got it, and continues to kind of like imagine other things that are going on. As if there's layers of his psyche that are connecting past what is currently in front of him. And he says, please, those of you who have been bitten, please come forward. As he kind of steps up to the examining table and places his hands on it. Please, don't be shy. Come.
I'll step forward.
Yes. Tabaxi, white, black spots, quite rare. Yes, where have you been bitten?
Right here in my arm.
Please, have a seat. Lie down on the table.
Of course. So I'll find the table and kind of feel it and get a sense for the length of it and then climb on.
Yes. No sight. Blind, but can still move and walk in awareness. Interesting. Quite. And he's like still doing calculation. He says, all right, well, one moment. And he goes over to the shelving unit and begins to kind of like look around and count and picks up a little vial of this and a little vial of that and then starts like mixing vials into vials and grabs a jar and shakes it and then moves it around and grabs kind of a stirring stick and stirs. And he's kind of like walking around almost like he's done this many times before. And then he finally comes over and he looks at your arm and he takes a little vial of this kind of like brown sort of brackish liquid. And he puts a cork on it and he starts to shake it like this. And as he does, he grabs, he kind of goes under the table and he grabs what appears to be a long kind of tube. And the tube has like a spike on it that you would imagine sort of like an archaic needle, but long, like, 6 inches long. And he says, just one moment, please. And he sticks it into your arm.
Oh.
And he take 1 hit point of damage as he sticks it into your arm.
Saving throws.
Yeah. No. And as he kind of lets go of the tube, it starts to fill with blood. And you see it like coil up a bit of a tube that coils up around kind of a little contraption that holds up the rest of the tube and then flows around and flows back under the table. And he uncorks the liquid.
We're all seeing this here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I turn to Sirang and go, yeah, so I'll be waiting until tomorrow to do the thing with you kind of healing me, because this is not something that I am doing.
I back
I'll
up
have to
away
see
from
how
this
this goes.
person, and I just sort of stand next to Elias.
Yeah.
Go, does he normally do this sort of thing? Is this normal?
Perhaps I should mention, Director, that we do have at our disposal some magical countermeasures as well.
Yes, of course. Finding out first if it's taken effect, if in fact they have received it yet. Just wait 1 moment, and he continues
and as
to.
this is happening, Sarah will step up to where Snow is laying down, and she'll just take Snow's hand and watches as this all happens.
Thank you. This is odd for me, but hey, it hurt a lot less than the bite.
Yes, of course. And then he like pinches it and like pulls the thing out, and the blood goes out of the end of the tube. Oh, God. And he says, "Here," and he grabs your other hand, and he puts it on your hand where the bite is, and basically stuck the needle into the bite wound. And he grabs you, so you hold it. And he says, "Hold it there. One moment." And then he like hangs up the tube again. While he's doing that, he reaches under the table and fiddles with something. You're not exactly sure what. And he pulls out a little tube, and he takes a drop of blood into the brown brackish material, corks it again, shakes it, and then he kind of looks at it and he says, "One moment." And then he takes out kind of like a vial holder,
like a COVID test.
Yeah, like a vial holder, and he puts it up on the desk, and he puts the vial in it, and he says, "That will take a minute. Who's next? Anyone? Who else is bitten?"
Walk out of the tent.
Okay.
I think I'm fine though. But I don't think didn't really even go through the skin too much.
Actually, as you make to walk out of the tent, Elias just sort of steps, not in your way, but just sort of into your field of view and says, "Patience, if you please."
No, I'm just going to wait outside. This is a bit too much for me. And I go outside.
Okay. Elias, you allow him to go?
Yeah, he holds up his hand as if to say something and then just...
Okay. All right.
I just want to say, while all the shenanigans was happening, because that seems like a lot, and I'm assuming a lot of people's focus is on this director and what the heck he might be doing.
Yeah.
Zenrik just slowly reaches into a pocket, just looks at a small note, and just reads it, and then crumples it and puts it into his bag.
Okay. And are you... Yeah, you're attempting to hide that from everybody, or...
Yeah.
Okay, can you just give me a sleight of hand check?
Yep.
And everybody's distracted, so it'll be passive perceptions if anybody actually sees this.
That's a 19.
Okay. I'm assuming nobody has a passive perception higher than 19.
No.
Nobody sees it. All right.
You just a quick look at it, nod, fold it, place it into my bag.
Yeah.
My bag of holding, and I just continue watching, seeing what the heck's going on.
And then he looks at everyone else, and he starts to kind of look around, and he looks at Sierra, and he says, I should look at that one. And not looking at your eyes. Has never yet made eye contact with anybody in the room. He looks over and he says, "Yes, that one there I should look at." And looks over at Ian. He says, "Yes, that doesn't look so good either." And then looks at Plunk and he says, that one perhaps we should look at. Anyone else been bitten? Anyone else? Anyone else? You. Let me see. Merely a flesh wound. You're fine. And then he continues on. He says, "Who's next? Please, please." Not a lot of time.
Next. What is it that you're doing?
I am determining who. And as he says that, the swirling liquid in the brackish kind of the brownish liquid turns black, like almost pitch in the vial. And then he turns to Snow and he says, "He has it."
He has what?
The curse.
Some may call it that.
The lycanthropy has taken root within him.
So you're not healing him? You're just checking to see if he has it? We've all been bitten. We know.
Yes, but just because you've been bitten doesn't mean necessarily that you have it. I would appreciate some patience and perhaps some respect for what we do here. It is quite delicate and important. But we need to determine and ascertain first if all of you have had it or not. And if not, 5, 13, 72. I knew it. If you all have it, if you all have been bitten, we need to make sure first, before we waste valuable magics, to heal or to change or to accept whatever you want. But we need to determine if it's in you first. Who is next?
Me.
Fine. Please, lie down.
Sarah, are you sure about this?
Yeah. Yes. Just. I don't know. He seems to. If Snow has already been down, we don't. It's too late. I need to know what he's doing.
Carry the 11477. Thought it was there. Are you ready?
Yes.
Very well.
I'll hold Sierra's hand like she did for me too.
I lie down. And same thing. He goes through the same thing. Tube right in the wound. You wince.
Please be careful.
You take another hit point of damage.
Fine.
He does the same thing. Takes it out, drips it into the vial, puts the vial next to Snow's. Who's next?
While this happens, I look at is it Elias or Elias? What's the stress on?
Elias.
Elias. Okay. As he.
At least I sure hope so.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
We're not sure.
Apologies,
This is
Matt.
our
Apologies.
version. Yes.
He turns to Elias and says, "Excuse me," and he just walks out just a little bit to see where Gregory is.
Gregory is just kind of maybe 5-10 feet outside the tent, just examining the surroundings, within earshot to hear what's happening in the tent, but not in the tent, you know?
Are you going to get this cue, or are you going to stay outside?
I think I might just wait for one of your compatriots there to do it. I don't particularly enjoy what's happening in there. It's making me a little bit queasy.
Well, they need to ascertain if you actually have been cursed or not, and it would seem that Sierra and Snow are, but they would like to make sure on all of you.
I'll just take the spell or whatever it is. They don't need to double check. I'm not going back in there. That's a bit much.
I do not believe they will waste their magic if they do not know, so you might have to rely on Yanil or Sierra. But I believe I actually wouldn't know that. You have to rely on one of them.
Well, we'll go with that, and if I have to cross that bridge, I'll cross it, if and when that comes. But that room is no. No,
You are an interesting one. And he walks back inside.
Okay. Right. At this point, as you enter back inside, Yanil is now not on the table, because she'd probably break it because of the mass of her shell. But she has her arm out, and as you walk in, he pulls it out of her arm, and she kind of steps back.
And this whole time, Bolt has been he was grossed out at first, but now he's following along, and he's like, I just have the coil, and then you drip it into the thing. Yeah, okay, I see it.
Yes, well, right. And he's kind of, he walks you through it a little bit, but not totally. And sometimes he's like, and he's like slaps your hand when you try and like look under his table and his desk to touch any of the things. Anyway, so he goes through Sierra, Snow, and Yanil. Plunk, you're the last one.
Sierra, how do you feel?
I feel fine. I just didn't want Snow to go through that alone.
As you say that, your vial swirls and turns to black. She has it too.
But that's no guarantee that we all have it, is it?
I think the guarantee was that the result of the test would tell you.
That's what I mean. Like, there's no guarantee that the test will be positive or negative, or positively negative or negatively positive.
Well, that's what we're going with you wouldn't poke us like that and go through all of the shenanigans.
I don't know if I can go through with it. I don't like people poking me. I don't like bags on my head. I don't like it. I just don't.
Plunk.
Yanil's vial.
We've come this far.
Ugh. Fine then.
Brought here. We kind of have no choice but to trust them now.
That's what we all say. We all say we don't have a choice, but we do have a choice. And then we make the stupid choices, even though there are fine other choices to make. Fine,
We've made dumber choices.
I've made many stupid choices. I'll admit that. I don't want to make any more. Okay, fine. I'll get on the table.
I can tell you now that I'm okay. And I'm here with you. It's fine.
Yes, and I can walk you through the whole thing. I've been following along, actually. It's quite fascinating.
And I'll sort of help you get onto the table.
How about this? You take this dagger, you silver it, prove to me that you can do that. No, you can't. See? I'll get on the table.
Okay. Right. As you get on the table, he does the same thing. Take the point of damage.
Like how you see that
you here.
As you get on the table, Yanil's swirls and turns clear. She is fine.
So there's a chance that I'll be fine.
And he actually then picks up Yanil's and he looks at it like this. And then he shakes it and looks it up here, and then he starts to like, and he starts to kind of think of it, and he looks at her like weird for a moment. You notice kind of he takes a double take at her as he continues, and then he puts the vial back.
That's not reassuring at all.
Fleck is just having the worst time.
He jabs the thing a little deeper.
You all have terrible, terrible bedside manner here.
He has to reach the vein.
Oh, he's reached through the vein into my brain.
At least we'll know who we can use magic on and who it's not necessary for.
That's true, I guess.
Yes, we're gonna waste precious magic.
Fine, okay, just take the thing, take the blood, and let me out of this stupid chair.
He pulls it out.
Oh! Every time.
He dips it in, he swirls and puts the vial in the holder. He says, all right, well, there was one more of you who got bitten quite seriously, and we need to take a look at him, and we need to identify it, make sure he has it or he doesn't have it. But if he does have it, he cannot leave here unless we either heal him or teach him. Otherwise, he has to be tested, or he cannot leave this place.
Oh yes, Gregory got dropped.
Yes, we need him. He needs to come in here. He cannot leave until we've tested him. Until we need to make sure that he has it or does not have it.
I wrap my arm with the mark, and I walk out the door of the tent, and I see, buddy, you've got to come in here and do this. I did it. You have to come in and do it.
Nope.
Just come.
I don't do well with big pointy things.
I don't either.
Nope.
But please.
I'm sure I've got it. It bit me twice. It's gotten really deep. It's tingling a lot more than I think your blind friend. What is his name?
Snow.
Snow. It hurts a lot. I'm probably infected. So I'll just take a spell tomorrow and it'll all be fine. I'm not. Nope.
I think they're actually talking about consequences too if you don't get tested, which sounds really familiar. But could you please go in?
If I get the spell done on me, then I don't need to be tested, because even if I am infected, it'll deal with it. And if I'm not infected, then it'll just be a wasted spell, and I'm sorry, but I can give you some money or something.
Sarah will nudge Elias and be like, he said heal him or teach him. Teach him what?
And for the first time, Elias, as she says that, the director looks directly in your eyes, Elias, and nods. And he says, kind of under his breath, he needs to come in here. And then goes back to his things.
Oh,
you're muted. Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
In answer to the question, Elias says, to be taught to control, if necessary. You have seen the others outside, yes?
Yes.
Could you please come with me and have a word with your friend? I would prefer not to bring him in against his will. I would prefer, but if necessary, you must understand.
Right.
So we aren't prisoners. We were prisoners all along.
I'll poke my head through the tent because you guys are outside.
All right.
I say, Gregory, it's your turn.
Yes, I'm aware that it's my turn. I'm not keen on it being my turn, so I'll just. Nope, it's okay.
You saw how cool it was in there. How the blood just goes.
That part is decidedly not cool.
Well,
that part is decidedly disgusting, and I'm not going in there.
Please, my friend Gregory, was it? As Elias walks out through the tent flap. Please.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We need to examine you. Please, you must understand that magic is a valuable resource and should not be wasted when it does not need to be. You understand? This will determine if we need to employ such measures.
Yes, but I'd rather not have to go through that. So I would say just
Of
bank
course.
on me having the curse, because this wound really hurts.
Yes,
You've
but
suffered the worst already.
and I am sure that there is no one who would prefer to go through this. It is simply something that must be borne.
Gregory, please, we have limited resources.
I get the sense that I'm not getting out of this conversation without going back into that tent.
Insight check.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, since the curse does have a magical element to it, do I know from my studies if curses can be detected by magical means?
That's a great question. Arcana check.
15.
Ooh, that's big. Plus 7. 26.
Yes. And are you Omega aware of anything that can detect a curse?
I don't remember. I think it can. I just wanted to check.
Isn't there a spell detect curse?
No.
I don't think there is. I thought there was. I wondered if there was.
No. Oh, hold on.
Because you can identify weapons that have curses on them through magic. This is me. This is Julian talking, not Gregory. But
maybe you can Google it, and whatever you find with a 26, you know.
Here you go.
All right.
In the meantime,
15 on my insight check to figure out, like, can I get out of this without having to go back in that tent?
Cyril will try to persuade Gregory and say, listen, we are running on very limited time. If this takes hold of a person in the time that they say that it takes, we are running on limited time.
You know
Between myself and Yanil, we have limited magical abilities. We need to find out who has this and who doesn't.
Actually, taking Cirrus cue, I'll turn to Gregory, put my hand on his shoulder, and go, actually, you know, when I got it done, it was quite enjoyable. And I'll try to deceive him.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That's a natural 20.
Okay, well, let's find out. Does a 23 win?
Does a what? What's your natural 20 total? 25.
Yeah. Okay. So I lost, yeah.
What if I was trying to persuade? Because I was trying to persuade him.
Yeah. What? Did you roll a persuasion check?
Okay. Is a 16 on persuasion.
Yeah, against my what? That's probably not gonna be enough. Insight. Against my insight? Yeah, it's only 12.
Okay. You get the sense from Syrah telling you it's all right, and the tone in Elias's voice, that they're not going to let you leave here unless they determine whether or not you're okay.
Oh, all right. Perhaps, if everybody else could leave the tent, because I'm going to get squeamish, and I would rather nobody be there for that.
You could do it with the bag on your head.
Honestly, that would probably help.
No, it's fine. It's fine. If you want privacy, I can't argue with that. I'll stay outside if that's all right.
I would appreciate that. Does anybody have one of those bags so I don't have to watch?
Oh yes, there are many bags. Bags are plentiful.
So I will take a bag.
They just don't have
the blindfolds.
The
Yeah.
blindfolds. No blindfolds, just the bags.
I will take a bag.
Jay?
Yeah.
So just looking through, nothing really says yes or no. It's all really up to the DM.
Yeah.
I would argue that because it can be removed with the remove curse,
Yeah.
that potentially that has a magical property that either detect magic or identify could somewhat see it.
Yeah,
I'll
maybe.
leave that to you.
Yeah. I'd say maybe identify more so than detect magic.
Okay. Then with that, I say, 1 second. Elias, give me a moment. And I go to Gregory and I say, I probably can figure it out. Just hold still.
No, it's fine. I just put the bag on my head and I just storm into the tent. Nobody come in!
I'm gonna try to sneak in.
You too?
Okay.
That's awesome.
I didn't leave, so I'm still there.
Oh yes, no. What's your stealth?
It's amazing.
8.
Okay, so everyone starts to filter out. Snow's still standing there because he doesn't necessarily. Well, you can sense that everybody's left. And Bolt kind of like.
Is it with advantage because he's wearing the bag?
Well, but not for the director who doesn't have a bag on his head, and Elias who has been asked to stay in the tent with him.
Okay, I just sort of slowly saddle in.
What was your stealth roll?
8.
I've got a passive perception of 16, so I assume I noticed.
Yes. What do you tell him, Elias?
Your friend did ask for some privacy, yes?
Well, he said that. But it would be so fun to watch it for a fourth time.
You will come with me, please. And he just sort of like puts his hand on your back and escorts you out.
All right.
Oh, man.
If anyone else comes in with needs to be checked, let me know.
All right.
So is everybody out of the
yes,
tent?
everyone.
Now?
No, Snow is not, but I'm assuming Snow goes with Elias as he ushers. Snow, do you go willingly out of the tent?
Well, yeah. Nobody's told me one way or the other, so
yes.
I'm just hanging out there. But if somebody tells me to leave, I'll I'll go.
You feel a gentle hand on your back, Elias says, as he kind of escorts you and Bolt out of the tent.
Oh, all right.
So I walk up to the director, and I pull my bag just up just to see his face, and I just go, some discretion, please. And I put the bag back down, and I hold out. Actually, no, it was my thigh. Actually, I got bit.
Yeah.
So I pulled my thigh.
Okay. He says, please lie down. You know the drill. And he takes it out. He places a hand on your thigh and on your arm. Elias, he then looks up at you, again making eye contact with you, and looks back down to him, looks back at you, and kind of cocks his head to the side.
Will an insight roll let me know what he's
Yes.
trying to say? Yes. Oh, 13.
I am sending you a message.
Go.
And that message
Outside the tent, I'm just like,
Which
well, we know that
form of social
Gregor-
media are you sending this on?
Text.
Is texting social media?
Meanwhile, outside, Sarah says to whoever else is outside the tent, well, we know that Gregory's not from that nudist colony that we saw those flyers next to our wanted posters.
I guess I missed those.
Yes, you did, my friend. Yes, you did.
All right, a little time passes, and he offers you all to come back at the tent. At that point, Gregory is now getting off the table. He does 2 vials. Gregory's is still kind of swirling. Plunk's is black, pitch. And he kind of looks around and he says, the little one has it.
Don't judge me.
And then
Bolt quickly runs up.
And he waits a moment, and yours swirls and turns back to the clear color. Oh, damn it. And he says, he is fine. All right, well, here's the thing. So, we know who has it and who does not. I must ask you a question, a very clear one, and you must answer. I will give you some time to think, but we don't have much time. Would you like to keep the gift? Or would you like to remove the curse? It's a matter of opinion, really. But we can teach you. If we teach you, you must stay. But you can harness it. We teach those to harness it. If you would like it removed, I can only do one.
I remove the bag from my head and go, well, if it's going to look like anything like that was, I'm going to I'll wait outside again. And I go back outside.
Bye, Gregory.
I'm very new to a lot of things, and while I don't mean to be disrespectful for anybody who has chosen this path for themselves, I don't think that I could choose that for myself. Not right now.
I have a few questions, but I'll need to ask them in private if that's okay.
love that.
It's so difficult.
Yes, of course. This is a very, very personal quest. Personal.
All right then. So.
No, passing notes in class. What is this?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I have to ask about something, and I'm assuming I'm alone now.
I don't know. Everybody leaves. I'm assuming we're just gonna, for the sake of brevity.
Yeah, just
does everyone give them privacy?
Yeah, though Sierra will look back like really hesitant at Plunk.
So Sierra,
but
you
then
have said no.
Sierra said no. Yeah.
Has anyone else said no before Plunk asked for privacy?
Snow.
Snow has not made a decision yet.
Not yet.
Okay. All right.
So, in private with the director and Elias, I'll ask. So, I don't share this openly with many new people that I don't have a relationship with, but what would it mean for a changeling to then go through this process?
Oh, well, yes. And he starts to like changeling. You are a changeling.
Yes.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yes, I had wondered why a Kenku was so unusually talkative.
Yes. You could say I've got the gift of gab. That's a little joke. My name's Gab, by the way.
Yes. I do not know. We've never had a changeling afflicted. The fact that it even took is interesting. I wouldn't imagine you can already change. You wouldn't get all of the benefits, and you can tell he's like, and then he goes over to his bookshelf and he starts pulling books out and kind of like reading and cross. I'll need some time, but it would do a lot to further our research and our understanding of the way that afflictions and the gift curse affects those that can already shift. He's kind of like putting it all together in his brain.
I simply need to know if I can continue to perform my duties, the pact that I've made to my order. If I can continue with that, then I'd be open to it.
There's unknowns. We would have to keep an eye on you, see how it affects you. It would take time, days, weeks, perhaps. If you can take a little bit of time, perhaps we can figure it out. But there's much to be learned. There's much for the greater good that we can find out and help others potentially of your type to harness and to be able to. This is fantastic. Would you be willing to stay? Would you stay for a little while at least?
I will admit, it piques my curiosity as to what I could do if I had additional gifts. I think I will stay.
Oh, fantastic! That is very, very good. I'm glad. Okay, thank you. We will make the arrangements, Elias. We need to make the arrangements for him. I know you will be leaving soon, but Liliana, unfortunately, you did not start off at a very good.
No, I'd prefer she never talk to me again, actually, if that's okay.
If that's what it takes for you to stay, perhaps we can have that arranged. All right. You may want to tell your compatriots. I'm sure they'll be wondering. Please invite them back in.
So I'll go to the door with Elias there, and I'll say yes. Let's let them back in. I'll give them the news. So invite you all back in.
I burst in. I heard some books.
Is there a sort of tubes and needles happening again, or are we clear of that sort of?
I've decided something, and I thought that maybe you should hear first from me. Dear friends, compatriots, fellow party members, I've died alongside you a few times now. I think it's time for me to move on to my next act, so to speak, to my next performance. And you, I don't know so well. Just met you yesterday.
I can leave the tent if you want to.
No, you stay. It'll be good for you to kind of take up the mantle, so to speak.
I'll just awkwardly stand just inside the tent.
Yes, so I'll say this. I'm going to miss all of you, but I've decided to take on the challenge of being what I hear is the first, or maybe the first of the few changelings to undergo this change. And so it'll mean I have to stay a while, for potentially a long while.
Gaziel says, Plunk, no.
You're just gonna leave? What made you decide this?
Well, you see, there are not that many of me around, those who can change. And I'm not gonna lie, it'd be nice to be around people who know a little bit about what it's like to be me. And so I feel like if I don't take this opportunity now, it may never come again. Not without supervision or control around, anyway. And I'd hate to take on the task without protection or knowledge. And since these people know best, or know most, I guess, I figured what better environment to do it in than this one. You know, I've been alone a long time. I mean, not that you're not there with me, but I mean, my kind.
Gaziel speaks up. She says, "You won't be alone. I'll stay with you. I knew it in the woods after Bakariah left. I felt it. I felt a shift. I felt a calling. My purpose was to make sure Yanil crossed the barrier at the gate. And then it was you."
Are you sure you're... I mean, I don't want to keep you from your holy duties.
I am at the behest of where I'm called.
It means a lot to me, Gaziel. And I'll turn to Sierra in particular, and I'll go, I know this doesn't mean much to you, Sierra, but that time, you know, when, you know, it was kind of a joke, and you were holding my hand down the side of the street, and we were pretending to be a couple, and I know and respect your decisions in life, and even the one you love. I mean, that's an amazing thing, but I can't pretend that my feelings for you haven't been real over this time, and so I just want to let you know I quite like you a lot, and I'm gonna miss you a lot. And if there's anyone that I wish I could be with in the long term with, it'd be someone like you, if not you. So just know you've left a real impression on me, and just wanted you to know that. And Bolt, I'll say this: you're a most peculiar person, You're quite interesting and interested in so many things. So I say my goodbyes, knowing that there's a very good chance that something that you've built I'll see in the future, because you're just an amazing inventor. So
I hope that you are able to discover what you're looking for on your quest of curiosity, one that we're all on.
Yes. And Snow, my friend, I know you can't see me change, and so I'm less concerned that I have to explain these things to you, which actually is quite comforting. So I say goodbye to you, and Zin, I leave you I leave my friends in your care. They deserve someone who can take care of them well, as I've done, right? Right, everyone? As I've done all this time, taking such good care of you all.
I will say that one song was very good.
Right. That's a represent.
Gab, I left everything that I knew to follow what I knew and my heart was right. And so, as much as it will make me sad to be apart from you, I understand.
And so the soliloquy made sense. Sometimes you have to be a part of the ensemble, do things you don't necessarily want to do, not have the spotlight, literal or not, in order to go down the correct path to eventually be the leading man you were supposed to be. I don't know what that performance will be, but I'm sure it would mean something to you.
Thanks for that. I'm not sure what that means, but I will say you are an eloquent man, and I envy your continuing journey with my friends. And with that, Elias, and director, let's do this.
You will be doing it without my guidance, my friend, but you are in good hands with the Order of the Lycan. They shall teach you to harness this gift. As to you others, I wonder. I have business to the north of here. There have been reports of monstrous activity around the mines. I wonder if I might travel with you.
I have to admit, I have been curious about that space myself. I don't know much, but now that we are traveling north, I was going to ask if we could stop by, just because when curiosity strikes, it's hard to let it go. It wouldn't be far, and it would be on the way to Komoda.
Very well. I have few things to gather. It will not take me long to prepare.
My apologies. I do not mean to silence you, but I would make sure that the group is okay with going.
It would appear
Of course, for me.
Yes.
Yes.
I was going to say, it would appear that we do have an opening, as much as it pains us to say it. But you're more than welcome to join our little crew.
Yes.
For a time, at least. It would seem that our paths shall be the same.
I have two questions. First one, so not a Kenku?
No.
I know, right?
I knew something was off. I knew it. The second thing is, should we perhaps let the town of Trostenwald know about the bites? That was why we initially were in these woods. I don't want to seem like I'm pulling you away, but I mean, we're supposed to be helping these people, and we've sort of just helped ourselves. So.
Yes, someone should let them know about what afflicts them now.
We will send word. We'll send word right away. Don't worry. That will happen.
I mean, I can just go and do that, I suppose. I need to run back to Trostenwald anyway, so.
Yes, you live there.
No, I don't live anywhere close to here, but I feel like they need to be alerted. My whole goal was to initially help these people, so I think this might be the best course of action.
Well.
Komoda, though, if I look to regroup with you folks?
Eno looks at you and she says, "You should stay. Your fate lies with us. I've foreseen it."
I don't know what that means. I suppose we could just send a letter or something.
I'm not sure you heard them, but they just said they'll send word back.
I see. Okay. Just, Komoda sounds fun anyway, so.
So, Plunk and Cassier stay here. I had the bag on my head the whole time. I don't even know how to visit.
Eno turns to you. She says, "I can look in on them from time to time to make sure they're okay."
Sierra will walk up close, slowly towards Plunk and take off a very, very fine gold chain around her neck with a little tiny star around it, and she'll put it around his neck.
Oh, thank you so much, my friend. That means a lot to me. I will treasure it and never remove it. And when I say never remove it, I mean not even for baths or like swimming or anything. I mean, I don't ever do those things anyways. So this is great.
Till we meet again.
Thank you.
What is the director doing?
He's back at his board, and he's moved on from this conversation. He's like doing his own thing. He's looking through books.
Can I just take a quick look at what she just gave you?
Just a quick. I pull it and I hand it to him and
But
put it
you
in
said you weren't going to take it
No,
off.
I mean, sorry. I just could you? Okay,
Wait,
can you just look
I can
at it from
look at it
here?
without even.
There, just look.
And I'm gonna like a little mechanical mage hand comes
sorry,
up
sir.
with a tiny screwdriver, and does a little, and you hear my voice say,
You'll always be with us, Plunk.
and then all of a sudden it sort of has a like a
Okay.
hum to it, and I use the magical tinkering, so whenever you tap it in the middle, it will emit a recorded message that can be heard up to 10 feet away. You utter the message when you bestow this property on the object, and the recording can be no more than 6 seconds long. So now press the middle.
Clink. We'll never forget you, Plunk.
That's totally great. Let me do it again.
We'll never forget you, Plunk.
That one sounded slightly different.
Right in the middle, just right in the middle.
Oh, sorry.
We'll never forget you, Plunk.
Yeah, now you know. You have to get used to it a little.
Thank you so much, both of you. That's amazing. I'll never forget you, and I'll be back. I'm sure sometimes, assuming that I don't die in the process. I mean, maybe I won't die in the process, right, Director?
There's still a problem at hand.
He
look.
Sorry, go ahead.
He looks over at Sierra and Snow. Sierra did not want to take the gift, and you said you have one usage. If time is of the essence.
Ah, yes, of course, yes. And he walks over to Sierra, and he says, "May I?"
Aye.
And he places his hand on your shoulder, and all of a sudden you kind of you feel like you've been hit by a jolt of energy, and you feel it almost in your consciousness. All the rest of you around don't see anything other than just a slight reverberation that reverberates over her body as he incants something under his breath. And you watch as the wound that she had begins to emit kind of almost like a vapor that leaves. And he says, "There, it's done. It's done. It's done." And then he goes back to his board and he goes, "Well, death is always a possibility." And then he goes back to it and he's like,
I look at my friends like you see on his face maybe this was a terrible effing decision.
And as you're surprised like that, I just
We'll never forget you, Plunk.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then now, Snow, you never said whether or not you were accepting it.
Well, I've given it some thought, and I've decided that I would like to get rid of this.
You feel a hand on your back and a jolt as Neil removes her hand. That's all I needed to hear. And she kind of like just places her hand nicely over her shell.
How come nobody gives any warning? They just stab you with needles and they magic your back.
Precisely why I don't like this tent.
Sierra just kind of burps, just like a little bit.
Of course.
That's everybody then. Everybody's been...
Except Sierra. But we can take care of her tomorrow on the road.
I thought
I just
thought
need
the
to
directors
sleep.
did it.
Sorry,
And
the
then I'll
director
be
did
able
just
to.
do it. Everybody but...
Yes.
No, everybody's good.
Everybody,
Everybody's good.
Everybody but Plunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we good.
Yeah. We're good.
It was you who did it.
It's like, wow, there's 3 of me right now. So it's hard to...
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Then is this goodbye? Because we probably should be on our way.
So, Plunk, you and I go way back.
A long
You
time, my
remember
friend.
when we fought that monster on the ship that time? You know, the one that was like sludge and it controlled people.
I do remember that. I do.
I don't even remember how we got out of it, but listen, I want you to know that I appreciate you very much. And I always loved your music. And there were times where you supremely annoyed me. But but I grew to love you in all of that. Despite the annoyance.
I've made a living in supreme annoyance, if you know what I mean.
Well, I just want you to know that I will be thinking of you constantly and very fondly, and I will remember your music. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. I'll miss you.
I'll miss you.
All right, you better be getting on your way then, all of you.
All right.
Yes, sir. Indeed. All the best with your studies.
Yes. I'm sure the director here is quite good at all of this. I hope.
156! Ha! I knew it! And he goes back to his calculations.
That's what I said, director, and I usher them out. Like,
You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Okay. Bye now, my friends. Goodbye. Goodbye.
For now.
For now.
Yes, goodbye for now.
Many sweet whoop 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 whoops.
Thanks for that. Who told him I snore? Anyways, keep going.
Right. You all leave the tent as you watch. Gaziel kind of steps outside the tent, stands beside Plunk, as you all cross the camp. And as you do, you see the 3 lycanthrope individuals that met you, Jace, Samara, and Liliana, and they kind of nod at you as you leave. And you head out of the palisade, looking back one last time just to catch Gaziel and Plunk before the doors close behind you. And you are set on your way north. And that is where we're going to end the session for this evening. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Before we go, Joel is actually stepping away, taking a bit of a sabbatical from the stream and all things RealmSmith. Joel, you can...
Yeah, just want to take... I've been at this for a long time now, as all of you know, so I'm taking I'm probably going to take a 6-month break from streaming and just spend time with my family and my wife and try to do as much of that as I can while they're young and yeah, so, and while I'm young. That's not true.
But you'll be back.
I'll be back. I'll be back eventually. So, yeah.
As a were-kanku.
As a were-kanku.
That's a changeling werewolf. That's very interesting.
A
Wehrling.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So thanks for letting me be part of your evenings on Mondays, and thanks team. You guys are awesome. Keep at it, and yeah. See you on the flip side.
He'll be back before we know it.
Yeah.
He's a change thrope. Sorry, I had to
A change thrope.
I just had to.
rope.
A Lycanling.
A Lycanling?
I don't like Lycanling. Lycanling is even better. And Mark, thank you so much
Yes,
for joining
thank you,
us
Mark.
this session and for future
Thanks so much.
sessions. As we, what's that? Sorry.
I said, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Dude,
Oh,
so
it's such
fun.
a blessing.
Yeah.
And I mean, for those of you that don't know, Elias the Corvo is actually kind of the quintessential, poster image of Blood Hunter. In fact, the image that is in the class in the on D&D Beyond is actually the artwork for Elias. So he's out of the mind of Matt.
I heard the name and I went, no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's very good, and I couldn't think of anybody better than Mark to play him. So it's gonna
Well,
be
thank you so much. Thank you. And yes, yeah, very honored to get to play that character.
Yeah, it's great, and it's fitting that you two are moving into the rest of Champions of the Realm. I'm very excited about that.
So we are this
you
week.
have your bout against Satine tomorrow. No,
No, on Wednesday.
no, last
No,
Wednesday.
last Wednesday.
Last
No,
Wednesday.
it's me and Mark.
Time is
You
weird
had-
for me.
yes.
You guys
It's me and
are
Mark
heading
this
into the
week.
finals, are facing each other
Finals.
Yes.
on Wednesday.
Yes.
Wow, my brain just had a big brain fart.
Yeah.
This coming Wednesday, you guys are facing each other in the finals. Very fitting that you're here today, representing RealmSmith again. The best to both of you
Yes.
in the
Thank you.
final.
Thank
Thank you for being a
I
part
can't
of
vote
it.
for either. I'm both of their corners.
Oh,
I know, right?
That's true.
I know.
It's so good.
You're
Can I just
our
say,
entourages.
the corner talks with Baloth and his Jinn are like my favorite thing. In
Oh
that
my
whole
God.
series.
So good.
Mine too. Mine too.
So good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Omega, thank you so much. That was so great to have you embody Najim.
Yeah. So good.
It was so good.
Yep.
Whatever you say, Bela.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Again, as usual, if you liked what you saw, subscribe, hit that bell icon, follow us on Twitch, all of that fun stuff. Lots more to come, and we're sad to see Joel go, of course, for a little while, but we will see you again.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to everyone as well.
Singles and couples.
And singles and couples and all y'alls out there. And you guys have a wonderful night. Yes.
We are off next week. For
Yes,
Family Day Monday.
That's right. We're off
It's
for
a
Family Day Monday.
Holiday in Canada.
Yes, in Canada for
That's
all
right.
us Canadians, including Mark, actually.
Yes.
Mark, do you have Family Day in Canada
Yes.
as well, or is that an Ontario thing?
In Edmonton, right? You're out there.
Oh yeah, no, it actually started in Alberta. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
See, you guys care about family the
Yes.
most.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So we are off. We are off for February 21st, the Monday, and we are back the following Monday.
Yes.
On the 28th.
That is correct.
Awesome.
Love y'all. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. Take care of each other, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Bye. Oh wait, that's not that. That's the thanks for watching.
We'll never forget you, Plunk.
We'll never forget you, Plunk. Dude, that was awesome.